As winter approaches in the UK, talk of the beast from the east is resurfacing. The phrase alone is enough to send a chill down the spine of anyone who remembers the chaos it brought just a few years ago. Across the country, people are starting to wonder, could we be in for another round of extreme winter weather? Memories of 2018's deep snow and biting winds still linger, reminding us how disruptive severe weather can be. That year, daily life ground to a halt for millions, with entire communities cut off by snowdrifts and icy roads. Supermarkets ran low on essentials, and emergency services were stretched to their limits. The images of snow-blanketed towns and stranded vehicles are still fresh in many minds. This year, meteorologists are watching the stratosphere closely for signs of sudden stratospheric warming, or SSW, the same trigger behind 2018's cold snap. SSW is a rare but powerful event that can disrupt the polar vortex, sending frigid, Arctic air plunging southward over Europe and the UK. When this happens, it can set the stage for weeks of unusually cold and snowy weather. The possibility of a repeat event has put forecasters on alert. Weather agencies are issuing early warnings and closely monitoring atmospheric patterns, hoping to give the public as much notice as possible if another severe cold spell is on the way. The 2018 beast from the east wasn't just a few snowy days. It was a prolonged, disruptive freeze that shut down roads, schools, and transport. Businesses closed, public transport was paralyzed, and thousands of flights were canceled. The economic impact was significant, and the experience left many wondering how well prepared we really are for such events. Now, with similar atmospheric signals, the big question is, are we facing a sequel? Will the UK once again be gripped by relentless snow and sub-zero temperatures, or will this winter pass with only minor disruptions? The uncertainty is keeping everyone on their toes. Across the country, local councils and families are quietly making preparations, just in case. Gritters are being readied, emergency plans are being reviewed, and people are checking their supplies of winter essentials. Are we ready for another battle with freezing temperatures and heavy snow? For many, the answer depends on how well we've learned from the past and how quickly we can adapt to changing forecasts. In this video, we'll break down the science behind SSW, how it can unleash Arctic air over the UK, and what current forecasts say about winter 2020. 5. We'll also look at how global climate patterns like La Niña might influence our weather in the coming months. We'll revisit 2018's impact and explore how factors like La Niña could shape the months ahead. By understanding the science and looking back at recent history, we can better prepare for whatever this winter may bring. Most importantly, we'll help you understand what to expect and how to stay prepared. From practical tips to expert insights, we'll cover everything you need to know to face the winter with confidence. Let's dive into the forces that could shape our winter and find out if the beast from the east is truly set to return. To understand why our winter could turn bitterly cold, we need to look high above the clouds, into a layer of the atmosphere called the stratosphere. This region sits about 10 to 50 kilometers above our heads, far above where commercial planes fly, and plays a crucial role in shaping our weather down below. Up there, a spinning vortex of frigid air, called the polar vortex, usually keeps the cold locked over the Arctic. This powerful circulation acts like a barrier, trapping the coldest air near the North Pole, and preventing it from spilling south into Europe and the UK. But sometimes, something dramatic happens. A sudden stratospheric warming, or SSW, is when temperatures in the stratosphere above the Arctic suddenly spike by up to 50 degrees Celsius in just a few days. This is one of the most extreme temperature changes found anywhere on Earth, and it can have far-reaching consequences. This rapid warming disrupts the polar vortex, weakening it and causing it to wobble or even split apart. When the vortex loses its grip, the cold air it was containing can escape and travel much further south than usual. When that happens, Arctic air can spill south into Europe, including the UK. This is why, after an SSW event, we sometimes see sudden and severe cold snaps, with snow and ice reaching places that are usually much milder. It's important to remember that SSW doesn't guarantee a cold spell every time, but it makes one much more likely in the weeks that follow. The atmosphere is complex, and other factors can influence whether the cold air actually reaches us. The effects of an SSW take time to reach the surface, usually 2 to 3 weeks, giving forecasters a crucial window to prepare and warn the public. Meteorologists closely monitor the stratosphere for signs of these dramatic changes, as they can be the first clue that a big shift in our weather's on the way. That's why we're talking about the risk now, even though the coldest weather may not hit until late November or December. By understanding these early warning signs, we can be better prepared for what's to come. Understanding SSW is key to predicting when the UK might face another icy blast. It's a vital piece of the puzzle for long-range weather forecasts, helping us anticipate and respond to extreme winter conditions. So, let's take a closer look at how this chain reaction unfolds, and what it could mean for our winter ahead. It sounds odd, a warming event causing a freeze, but it's all about how the atmosphere reacts. The jet stream, a fast-flowing air current, usually keeps Arctic cold at bay and brings us mild, wet winters. When SSW disrupts the polar vortex, the jet stream weakens and starts to meander, creating blocking highs. These blocks can stop milder Atlantic air and instead pull in frigid winds from the east, straight from Siberia. That's the beast from the east. Bitterly cold continental air replacing our usual maritime weather. Blocking highs can last for days or weeks, leading to persistent cold and heavy snow, especially in eastern UK. As this cold air crosses the North Sea, it picks up moisture, dumping snow when it hits land. This is the classic setup for a major SSW-driven cold snap. To truly understand the dramatic impact a major sudden stratospheric warming, or SSW, can have, we only need to look back at the end of February and the start of March 2018. This was a period that would go down in UK weather history as one of the most severe cold snaps in recent memory. A sudden stratospheric warming event high above the Arctic triggered a dramatic chain reaction in the atmosphere. The jet stream, which usually keeps cold air locked to the north, buckled and shifted. High pressure built up over Scandinavia, acting like a giant atmospheric wall, and allowed frigid Siberian air to surge westward, flooding into the UK. Temperatures plunged rapidly, with daytime highs barely climbing above freezing in many places. The biting wind made it feel even colder, with wind chills dropping well below zero. People bundled up in layers, bracing themselves against the relentless icy gusts that swept through towns and cities. The cold snap wasn't just a brief event. It lasted for more than a week, gripping the entire country in its icy hold. Snow blanketed both cities and countryside, transforming familiar landscapes into scenes straight out of a winter postcard. Heavy snow, especially in eastern England, piled up day after day. Then, as if things weren't bad enough, Storm Emma swept in from the south. When the moist air from Emma collided with the bitter cold, it unleashed blizzards and whiteout conditions, making travel nearly impossible. Some areas saw up to 20 inches of snow, with deep drifts piling against buildings and blocking roads. Rural communities were cut off for days, relying on emergency services and neighbors for help as the snow continued to fall. Schools across the country closed their doors, major roads and even airports like Heathrow were forced to shut down, and public transport ground to a halt. Everyday life was brought to a standstill. The 2018 Beast from the East, as it became known, exposed just how vulnerable the UK is to extreme winter weather. Emergency services and even the army were called in to help stranded motorists and deliver supplies to those in need. The Great Freeze of 2018 stands as a powerful reminder of what can happen when rare atmospheric events align. If a similar setup returns, the UK could once again face a winter crisis on a massive scale. Fast forward to November 2025, meteorologists are tracking another SSW event. Experts agree. A significant stratospheric warming is likely around November 25th or 26th. The effects won't be immediate. It takes 2 to 3 weeks for the cold to reach the surface. That puts the risk window in early to mid-December, when the jet stream could buckle and allow cold air to flood in. While SSW raises the risk of a cold snap, it doesn't guarantee a repeat of 2018. Each event is unique. Forecasters are urging caution, but say the UK should prepare for colder than average weather, especially in the north and east. The scale and duration of any cold spell will become clearer as the SSW unfolds. The Met Office is watching closely, and their long-range forecasts now highlight a higher risk of snow and freezing conditions as November ends and December begins. The first impacts are likely in northern areas, with snow possible on hills and colder air digging in. This week, expect a mix of rain and wintry showers, with frost and ice becoming more widespread. The Met Office will issue regular updates and warnings, so stay tuned. BBC weather forecasts echo this outlook. Showery rain turning wintry on high ground, followed by colder, drier spells. Eastern coasts could see lingering wintry showers on a chilly wind, a classic sign of easterly air. Both services stress that snow forecasts are tricky more than a few days ahead, but the risk is real. The message: be vigilant and prepared for significant winter weather. The atmospheric ingredients are in place for a potentially disruptive spell. SSW isn't the only player. Global climate patterns matter too. This winter, a weak La Niña is in play, marked by cooler Pacific waters. La Niña winters often bring colder, snowier conditions to the UK, especially when combined with SSW. The 2017-18 beast from the east happened during a La Niña, as did other memorable cold winters. La Niña can encourage blocking highs, making cold spells more likely and persistent. With both SSW and La Niña aligned, the odds of a prolonged cold period are higher than usual. Climate change adds another layer of complexity to our weather. While UK winters are milder and wetter on average, rapid Arctic warming may actually destabilize the polar vortex. A weaker, wavier jet stream can lead to more blocking patterns, causing both cold snaps and heat waves. So, paradoxically, a warming world might mean more frequent extreme cold outbreaks, at least for now. This makes long-range forecasts less certain, as climate change shifts the baseline. Forecasters must now factor in these new dynamics when predicting SSW impacts. The bottom line: weather is becoming more volatile, and extremes are more likely. We must be ready for a wider range of possibilities, even as the climate warms. The key message: be prepared, not panicked. Stay informed with updates from the Met Office and BBC Weather, and pay attention to warnings. Prepare your home, check heating, insulate pipes, and know where your stopcock is. Stock up on essentials: food, water, torches, batteries, in case you're snowed in. Before traveling, check forecasts and road conditions. Only travel if necessary. Make sure your car is winter ready, and carry a kit with blankets, a flask, and a charged phone. Look out for vulnerable neighbors and relatives, especially the elderly or those with health issues. A little kindness, like clearing a neighbor's path, can make a big difference. By taking sensible steps and helping each other, we can face whatever winter brings with confidence. Stay safe, stay informed, and be ready for whatever the season has in store.